to galacticconnection.com, one of the most popular blogs on the World Wide Web today for alternative news. Stay tuned for the latest information on our world shift from enslavement to galactic involvement, as well as current intel on any blockages impeding us from our sovereign birthright. Knowledge and self-mastery are key at this time. Our commitment is to present you with the latest breaking conspiratorial articles, off-world messages, exopolitics, cutting-edge technologies and sciences, and also an ever-significant intertwining of spiritual support and metaphysical scope that one needs to dive down the rabbit hole in search for truth with balance. We are truly on the horizon of a new golden age filled with the promise for more love, worldwide peace, and accelerated intuitive skills, where every living being can exist in cohesion and abundance. It is whatever we envision and dream this new world to be. I say to you now, let's redefine the new world to the beginnings of our own precious heaven on earth. Galactic Connection is here to provide the pulse of Mother Earth through an eclectic range of interviews each Tuesday afternoon from 3 to 4:55 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Station 2 on BBS Radio, expanding your perspectives on how we can once and for all take back our freedoms, our joy, and our connection with our mighty I Am presence. Our intention remains true to connect hearts and minds everywhere in order to obtain global unity and galactic and universal acceptance. Our discussions will continue to cover anything to do with galactic society and our involvement with our galactic brothers and sisters. Our guests are experts in their fields, and our radio shows have been coined as some of the most thought-provoking out there. In addition to our daily blog, which runs 365 days a year, we also offer a realm of healing services such as our world-renowned implant removal processes, our spiritual past life clearings, our galactic violet ray alchemy from Alexandra, who shares in the lineage of Merlin, and other cutting-edge healing technologies. Check our site out at galacticconnection.com now, sending you a wave of light, love, and inspiration, and a personal hug and thank you for listening to our Galactic Connection radio show and visiting our blog today. Hey everyone, this is Alexandra Meadors of galacticconnection.com, and I have with me today Bibi Tinsley, my amazing right-hand woman, and James Hines, my amazing, what should I call you? My right-hand man.
There you go.
Woo! That sounds kind of exciting. Anyway, listen, we really wanted to get this information out because there's just so much scuttlebutt as to what's going on with the actual Galactic Connection server and the website. As many of you know, the site went down on November 18th, 2015. It was down for a solid 5 days. Why is that important, folks? 5 is our number. 5 is the key. 5 is all about the transition from here to the, you can refer to it as the 5th dimension, but it's actually, let's just say, the 5th space. Everything follows me with 5s. And so I wasn't surprised when they brought it back 5 days later. Now, many of you might notice that it's already gone down again. And this is a message. Actually, I received several messages from different people, including myself, that we would be running into this sort of thing, maybe upwards to the next 3 months. Now, what I want to explain to people is so you can see our reality through our eyes. And I want everyone to know Bibi has just come on board with Galactic Connection about 2 weeks ago. And it's been probably 2 weeks of absolute hell for her. She started with kind of like, gangbusters, really wanting to dive in there and do some new things. We've got so many new things that are on the plan of action. And everywhere we've turned, we've been having resistance and interference. So I want you all to be aware that we are in a reality that does not exist without resistance. If you read the Master Teacher's teachings, they will always refer to the fact that we chose this reality so that we could perfect ourselves in some way, shape, or form, or release our miscreations, or possibly just have an experience. Whatever. The bottom line is we come into these dense reality forms, spheres, whatever you want to call them, dimensions, for the simple fact that the resistance must be there in order for us to be challenged to make the next move. Now, what I want to pose to you is something really radically different about this whole experience. I want everyone to have a different concept as to what's going on. And before I dive into that, I want to introduce James Hines. Now, James is a very dear friend of mine and has been really not only watching my back, but watching the back of Galactic Connection. He is one of the master Archon Hunters. And he's badass on the inner plane. And yeah, he's like, shh. But there's many of you out there that are the same. And I'm putting this out there because we are now needing to unite. And I mean in a big way. Now, why do I say this? Because we are literally watching the dismantling of this dimensional reality now. I mean, we really are. Before, it was just kind of chipping away, maybe taking a few things down, maybe like removing a few people, or actually moving them around to maybe a different location, okay? But what we're seeing now is we're really, truly, because of the light, we're putting big chunks of holes, missing pieces in the Dark's agenda, and they are not happy about it. So, you know, I really want to share some information that's been coming in my way from all over the world. I want to thank everyone for being so patient and supporting us with your, whatever you want to call it, your intentions, your prayers, your declarations, your proclamations, your decrees, commanding that we unite as a frequential force field. I can't say enough how much I appreciate your love and your support and the emails that have been coming in. It means a great deal to us because on this end, it gets very frustrating and challenging. And before I bring them both on, I want to say one other thing. Do not forget that the number one card in their hand that they hold close to their vest, and the one thing that they have that we have not shown them to have back as much, and that is tenacity. Okay? Tenacity is the name of the game at this point in time. There are many of you having issues with your cell phones, your texting applications, your operating systems, your computers. For God's sakes, I even hear people having power issues, which we've also had. And we'll talk about that in a minute too. Do not think for 1 minute that this is by coincidence or accident. This is deliberate. And this is because we're moving to a higher set of harmonics. So first off, I want to introduce James. And James, if you want to share with our audience what you feel or you perceive as being the changes that are going on right now with Galactic Connection and elsewhere, please do.
Well, I think that with all the things that's been going on here in the last few weeks, I think since about the 28th of October is really when that's when I noticed the big change.
Yes.
The attacks were starting and from all of us involved in this thing with Galactic Connection. Myself personally, I was attacked. Not going to go into detail on that, but it kept me down for a couple of days. But I've watched several different things, and if you look at the so-called power elite, they think they're the power elite, that they're stumbling right now. They're without any power to do what they want to do. So the game has changed on their part. They're doing their false flags. You're watching it all over the planet. It's not just here. You know, the internet is having problems everywhere, not just here on the Galactic Connection, but everywhere. I travel quite a bit, and I've seen the internet problems all over, from emails to website problems. It doesn't matter what type of business it is, everybody's having problems with it. There's pulsing with the cell phones where they just shut out, where the computers will just pulse and blast it'll shut I've seen it shut the computer off completely.
Yeah, and in fact, what I want to add to that is Veterans Today, their newsletter went down. No More Fake News, their newsletter went down. Oracle Report, their newsletter went down. I have a couple others here, but it's like some key players on the net. And let me see, I'm trying to find the other one. There were a couple others. I can't seem to find them right now, but we're not the only one that's having not only website issues, but newsletter issues. Now, please realize this may continue to be the state of affairs for the next however many months as we get through this transition. It is a really good indicator to me that we are moving out of where we were. We're really kind of taking a big leap, and I can't wait to share with you some really just incredibly divinely inspired emails and information that was sent to me by a really dear friend of all three of ours, Jeff, I'm going to say Jeff, not his last name. So I also want to have Bibi share with you what her life has been like since day one of coming on board with the Galactic Connection. And, you know, James and I are laughing, and thank God she can laugh about it, because it has been, without a doubt, one of the most grueling, frustrating experiences of my life. And I'm not even doing all that she's doing right now. So, Bibi, welcome aboard. You know, it's like,
yes,
it's almost like having a birth, isn't it?
it really is. It really is. You know, you don't know what you don't know until you know it. So when I first came on, and I would be typing on my keyboard, and I'd be wanting to click and drag something across the screen, I would go down to click, and it would move across the screen. And the first day, I thought, well, this is weird, but I know that I am absolutely in the right place. I mean, when I actually I felt it come through like a million trumpets blasting in my body. I've waited a very long time to realize what my mission and what my purpose is, and all of a sudden it hit me that my orders are coming through Alexandra, and I recognize that, and I you know, none of this has taken that realization away. But anyway, back to that first day, I thought, well, I'm being upgraded, and maybe the energetics aren't really working too good with this matrix here. As it kept going on, I realized, so that's what she's been talking about. This is what it is like to truly be interfered with. And man, oh, Manischewitz, have I been interfered with? And I take it as a great honor, guys. I really do, because I you know, I'm not going to get all, you know, a puffed up head about it. I don't want a puffed up head about being interfered with like this, but I have an inkling as to what our Alexandra has gone through to reach this place where, I mean, she's held so much, and you have, and I want to thank you for that. And when all is said and done, I'm really jazzed, and I still get really pissed off, you know, and it's okay. And you gotta laugh.
Yeah, you do. Give them an example of what your experience has been when you've been trying to sent out the daily blog each day.
Well, I painstakingly, just as an example, yesterday, I knew that there were issues with links. People, the email newsletter wasn't displaying properly. I made darn sure that I triple checked, at least, maybe I quadruple checked each link meticulously. Well, the newsletter goes out, mine is looking good, and all the links are working. All of a sudden, these emails started coming in. I can't access it. The links aren't working. Nothing is happening. And I went in, and I hadn't done anything, but apparently there were different links put in the images. So people were clicking on the images and being taken who knows where.
Wow.
I don't know if I even told you that. I'm trying, you know, and it's like I just feel so bad, because people want the information. and they're being prevented from it. And it was
Amazing.
it was a nasty trick. It was a dirty trick because I thought it was all good.
Yeah. And by the way, everybody, Bibi's pretty IT savvy. She's very technical, and so I just want to put that doubt out of everyone's mind.
Exactly.
Tell them the other thing as far as actually trying to post the articles onto the server. Tell them what's been going on with that.
Well, I would post and pictures weren't showing up, or nothing would happen. My computer would crash. Oh, and then there was the issue the first day I started.
And she has a brand new computer, everybody.
And I've got I like my tech toys. I do. I appreciate them. I'm a photographer, and I like good stuff that works, right? And so there I am, I'm happily doing my thing, and I'm getting to know everything. So around 11:30, I get this frantic text from a mutual friend of ours, call Alexandra, call. So I did. She thought she couldn't get in touch with me. My phone was not working. Long story short, I thought it was working. It wasn't working. So she thought that I had overslept on my first day. So it's been like that. But we've worked it out. She knows that I was there.
She did. She called me, told me you slept in.
I know. I called up James. I'm like, wow, it's her first day, and she's still not answering her phone.
Still asleep.
I know. But it's tricks like that. I mean, in the olden days, when I was a little younger and greener, stuff like that would have really gotten to me. It would have cut at my self-confidence. It would have made me feel very like I have to apologize and I've got to explain. No, I mean, they're not going to get to me like that. So
You're not on probation.
Yeah.
What'd you say, James?
I said she's not on probation for her.
No, we don't have her on probation. I think she's earned her stars just in the last 2 weeks.
Yay.
Well, and the other thing is just it's mind-blowing, the type of things that we've both been running into. I mean, sending a text message and then she never gets it, like never, not even 3 days from now, or trying to call one another. It was so bad, folks, that when we tried to call each other, we had to have other people call each other to be able to communicate with each other because they were blocking our phone communications. And this is after we've pulled down, protection and, clearing the space, et cetera, on both ends. It was still happening over and over again. But because of that, I was so intrigued because I've really had to build up my own protection skills because of running Galactic Connection, because of its popularity, because of what I intend for it to accomplish and where I intend for us to go. In a big way, it's become I'm going to say, a prototype for what is to come and how to get through this transition. And that's why I felt it was so important for us to just put this quick video together. I want to share a couple of things first. This is just an email from William. It says, congratulations. The powers that were are obviously feeling threatened. By your great work, keep it up. The light is on your side. They can keep pulling their dirty little tricks, but they can't keep hiding or running for long. We will right their wrongs, because the light is strong. Peace, love, and light. I think we're really starting to see that now. I just wanted to read that one. Here's another one. This is from Arvel. It says, thanks for sharing. I'm glad you guys are getting things straightened out. As a side note, not only has your newsletter stopped, but Veterans Today and No More Fake News, which is John Rappaport, who I also interviewed. You guys see the connection here?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I emailed John, and he said the problem wasn't on his end. But I'm not so sure. I have resubscribed to all 3 newsletters, and I still haven't received anything. Boy, is this screwy or what? He also makes mention that Carrie Cassidy's sites all went down a couple of weeks ago. Okay, there's just another one. I just want to share a couple of these things. Here's another one. It says, thanks for the update. I've been sending you a lot of light and love for the highest good of all, and will continue to do so. They don't run after you unless you've got the ball. And you guys got it. Love, Cheryl.
Beautiful.
Okay. Now it says, great, and happy you are all okay. Keep up the great work is what has been happening to you, and we know you're knocking on the right doors. That's from Donald. Now, this one was beautiful. The universe points the way. My belief is that humanity's innate gift of creative imagination is the tool that will defeat the hostile forces. They do not possess this creativity and must follow programs and orders that come down from above, while the top dog, or Lord Archon, is himself forever trapped in his own ego and estranged from Creator. Best wishes and stay close to Creator, and that's Roxina. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
Just, man,
Yeah.
that really got me. I had another one here from Leo, and one of the lines was, when I heard you cry, I knew your pain was half mine. So strong is our connection. It yearns to reunite like a promise before the asking. And again, I kind of want everyone to understand that this is par for the course for our future with electronics and communications. It's not just Carrie Cassidy or myself or John Rappaport or Veterans Today. I think this is going to be intrinsic for the entire web population, because we are literally moving from one set of harmonics to another. And this is where I really got to get into some cool stuff. I had a friend who does phenomenal work. His name is Jeff, and he works on people's electronics, and he finds the boogeymen inside. I think people have heard me talk about this before. But one of the things I want to share with you, he writes an amazing description of what he does energetically in the sites. Let me go ahead and find it, because I think it's really key. Now, this is just an example of the work that's being done and what he actually sees is happening with the Galactic Connection website. And I want you guys to see the profundity in how the light is working through Galactic Connection to kind of pave the way. It's almost as if we're acting as a frequential bridge to pull the electronics and the communications, etc., and how we communicate from the old reality to the new reality. So check this out. It says, I'm returning to the high harmonic delivery beltway that rectifies the intended dispersions. This beltway is connected to the frequential beams that flow from demonic outcomes of heart space. Okay?
Huh.
This will create a dispersion within their harmonic bandwidth. Torsion focus is happening. Application of highest principles revolving inward toward compression juncture. This will blow out their receptive intentions for creating dismuck among the fields of frequencies, completing enrapture occurring. Probable relocation of internal heart harmonics is going on. Frequential barriers removed. Challenges are resolved. Contextual arbitration is closed. This is so heavy. Frequency matrix is reabsorbed. Internal components are opened. Tonal receptivities are restored. Bandwidths aforementioned are intended for new realizations. Challenges are activated. High harmonics are restored. And awareness is in journaling. And it says here, frequency barriers are outcasted. Okay? It also says challenges are disrupted, frequential overtones are reinstated, and outward progressions are enhanced. Barriers are removed. So why am I sharing this with you? Because what it's really showing me is that we are not just this server with a bunch of cords, and plugs tapped in, and we're all typing on a keyboard. We really are truly ourselves becoming consciously aware of our connection with our computers. Okay, we're not separate from our computers. This is what's going on, is that the consciousness itself is being injected into each and every one of our laptops, etc. There's a alignment and an entanglement going on now between our consciousness and the way in which we communicate. Before, it was almost outside of us, and it was a frequency that was not so great for us. But because we are embedding our consciousness into these electronic gateways, we are actually raising the frequency. And we're blowing through a lot of the barriers, as well as the lower harmonics and frequential bands that we're constantly up against. For example, if you hold your cell phone up to your ear long enough, if you're like me, you're either going to A, get a headache, or B, you're going to start getting like pain in your jaw and your head and whatever. This is all starting to change, not necessarily from the Allied forces. This is changing through us, through our consciousness that we so desire. We've put the intention out that we just wish that we could use with communication devices that actually are raising in frequency. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Very.
And I thank Jeff for that, because he's just so profound. And so one of the things that I've also been told is that the Galactic Connection website is literally redefining the way in which sites are going to be operating on the web. I had one person write into me from nowhere. I don't even know where she's from. And she said, hey, by the way, I've got this very important message that we're going to start getting powered up by the ships themselves. Okay, this means that the reality of this world will not be able to mess with us much longer. It's a great signal for all of us in the spiritual community, in the whistleblowing community, in the ufology community, in the conspiracy community, that we are now going to start receiving our juice, our battery backup, so to speak, from actual light sources that are not corrupt. Because unfortunately, we're still tapping into the web. That's really all we've had the opportunity to plug into. So
Right.
anyway, and I had somebody call me this morning because my site went down again today, and they said it felt like the dogs were surrounding a piece of meat.
Oh,
That's what they
wow.
saw etherically on the inner plane. So I want everyone to know, please send your guardianship, your intentions, your light, and your empowerment, knowing that you have the authority, since we are doing the work of God himself, okay? Or whatever you want to call your creator force, source, whatever's comfortable with you. And know that we are doing what is righteous, and we're doing what is good for the planet. And this is really going to become more and more prominent. Now, I started this before with the word tenacity. James, you of all people, I would like you to talk to people about tenacity, especially with your background.
She's put me on the spot.
I know, but it's important.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that, that would lead into the guardians that are out there right now. We all have to, I've had the opportunity here in the last couple of weeks to talk to a couple of guardians. And I think that we all have to have the tenacity to hang in there, because there's a lot of times that each one of us, that we sometimes wonder, is this really happening? Is this true? Is it? Because sometimes the illusion will come right in front of us and try to steer us off track. It's happened to all of us.
Yeah.
And we have to all be together and stick together on this. And I don't know how we could do this, but staying together, and I think it's some sort of communication. I think that's one of the reasons why they, messed with the site, is they don't want us to communicate with each other. And we have to communicate with each other. That it's like that. I have my fix, and it's really bothering me because I haven't had my Galactic Connection fix, because I go every day to have my Galactic Connection, and it's not there, which quite frankly pisses me off. But
yeah, it's
but
not
tenacity
been easy.
is,
It's not been easy, huh, Bibi?
We could go on and on about tenacity, but it's just we all have to stick together here through this, because we're getting closer and closer. The more interference, the closer we're getting.
Here.
Yeah, the more interference, the closer they are to becoming most of these criminals being put behind bars. And I already visualize that every day.
As do I. How about you, Beeb? Any comments on tenacity? Because I think you're a real amazing role for that in the last couple of weeks.
Well, thank you. I am getting pats on the back from my guides and my spiritual family, because I realize now in these last 2 weeks, it's just amazing. The affirmation of, yes, you've gone through all this crap, in your life, and you're holding it. You are grounded. You are sailing through. You are winking and smiling and only crying sometimes, So
Cute.
it's a great realization for me to realize that I have come home.
Right on. Right on. And we feel the same way about you.
Thank you.
And I want everyone to understand, too, you're not separate from us, We feel you. We talk about it, huh?
Yeah,
I mean, James, you and I have talked about it. It's like we feel your presence, we feel your love, we feel your support. It keeps us going when things get really intense like this. Now, I want to share another biggie, because I just knew there was so much more to this. And not only do I feel that we are resetting harmonics, frequencies, etc., and the way that we're going to operate with ourselves, our consciousness, and our computers,
Mhm.
I also saw the ships sending blasting, and I actually commanded this to be so. And I saw them blasting beams of light and drilling down into all areas of galactic connection, or anyone that's associated with galactic connection, which is a lot of people, guys, because we blog everybody, okay? And my intention was that we clean out the corruption, the corrupted files, and we clean out the protocols that have been acceptable because they were set up. Now, let's face it, the web was originally set up by who? The government, right? So I actually did some work on that, and that's literally playing out right now. And it's spreading all over the world through the web, and it can't be stopped. I mean, they told me that there's what we would refer to an IT engineering team that is fully on board working on this as we speak.
Cool. That's
Very
great
much
to
so.
hear that.
Now, the other amazing thing is my site went down on November 18th, 2015. Guess what date that was?
Have not a
Have
clue.
any idea? It was the day that Neptune left retrograde.
Seriously.
I
Whoa.
could not believe it. And okay, it says, remember, this is from Laura of the Oracle Report, by the way. It says, remember, the most important thing is that all of that is developing now is designed to put things in a better alignment with truth, freedom, love, harmony, respect, kindness, sanity, and life. Okay, that's the representation. This is Uranus's influence. You could say that this is the Lord of Lightning's year. Uranus is the planet of change, shock, and surprise, revolution, and realignment. And this has been going on since April 18th. Okay, now remember, April is when we started noticing all kinds of weird things going on with the site, by the way. No coincidence there.
Yeah.
And it went direct out of retrograde November 18th. So it says here, isn't that amazing?
That is.
Chiron sits at the opposite place in the sky, 180 degrees away, giving the full view and the most light and the greatest potential for healing. Okay, don't ever forget, Chiron is your healer. Okay, it's whatever you've brought into this lifetime that you want to heal and clarify. So I just was floored. Somebody wrote into me and said, check out Laura's Oracle report. This is the only one that she did around that time frame, which was on November 20th. But it says here, the powerless are trying to maintain a feeling of power, losing their temper, low frustration and tolerance, and feeling at the end of the rope. Now, Bibi and I can relate to that because of all the challenges we went through with the site, the newsletter, all the affiliated applications, etc. we were almost like a mirror of what the powers that were are experiencing right now as they watch all their so-called power slipping out of their hands. I mean, this literally was like a stage performance of what's going on kind of microcosmically. I mean, I just was absolutely blown away. But here's one other thing she says. This translates into specific things happening here for us. It is an electromagnetic harmonic property of life, one of the myriad fields of science. This lining up with Uranus, etc., and coming out of the retrograde. So I was absolutely floored because this fits with all the other messages that are coming in, which is we are actually acting kind of as a prototype to move from one state of existence into another. And we are hoping, and I believe actually doing this, we are providing that doorway for all the other websites, all the other blogs, anyone who's affiliated with us. We're providing that doorway through all of our struggle and our work and our intention. So I just want everyone to know that.
That's interesting. That makes a lot of sense, though, with some of the previous things, that the direction of a galactic connection.
Yeah, I think so too. So anyway, we just really felt that you all deserve to know what's going on behind closed doors. And as of today, we are still clearing. I received a call from Australia, and this is 2 days ago. And he says, hey, by the way, I'm getting a message to share with you. You still have one more open back door. And we found it today. Okay, it's another reason why the server went down. And so it's being worked on. We're also restoring the server to a safe restoring point. So please hang in there. For those of you that are receiving the newsletter, it's just a temporary one. We are going to be redoing our newsletter to a format that I've always wanted, but we never did it for lack of time. Okay? But Bibi is really going to hunker in and try to get that done. Never liked my newsletter, guys. So sorry about that.
I always liked it.
Well, I just don't like the format. It's so long and narrow. I wanted it to be easier accessibility for all of you. So please, please, please be patient with us. Keep checking in with us, and please send us support because we really need your strength right now. Okay? And we will do the same for you. We've been here for you ever since. It's almost been 4 years, folks, that I've been doing this. 4 years.
Amazing.
I can't believe it. My anniversary for 4 years will be in February. So we're getting close.
That's crazy.
And we have so many things that we were about to launch. Obviously, the universe is telling us it's not quite the right moment to do that, but we are getting close. So a lot of cool stuff. And also, please do me a favor and look at this latest interview with Matthew Hurtado. I felt like it was magical. He and I did this on the fly thing, no preparation whatsoever. I mean, we literally talked about it about 5 minutes before we went and aired the thing. It was amazing. And what came out of it was both through his mouth and mine. A lot of times I don't really know exactly what I'm going to say. I've told people before I'm an open channel for the higher light forces and God and the all is. So it was amazing, and it's really, really helpful for all of you that are struggling financially, anyone who needs assistance in seeing manifestation in a different way. And we both share our stories as to what we've gone through. Oh. So, and we're offering a fabulous package. We finally packaged our 2 products together for a very, very good price. Okay, so anyway, thanks, James.
You're welcome.
And thanks, Bibi. These guys have been working very, very hard behind the scenes.
Thank you, Bibi, too.
Yeah, James provides a lot of volunteer time and is constantly spreading the word and also, I should say, spreading the assistance with the real big bad boys. He's told me some stories that are absolutely crazy.
Thank you, James.
You're welcome. One of these days.
Yeah, so if you feel that you kind of tango with some real heavy-duty master archons and that kind of thing, let us know, and we'll put you in touch with James, because he's got it going. Okay, well, thank you very much, everyone. We love you, love you, love you. And just stay tuned. Continue to send us lots of love. We're going to get through this, and we're going to be so much stronger. And we're going to be, what's the word? Impervious
I love it.
to all this garbage. Can you imagine what that's going to be like? Like,
Oh,
we've never had that
yeah,
experience.
I can. I actually can imagine that.
I can too.
I
You
just,
As
can.
long as we can all start visualizing that, I think it'll bring it into our reality faster.
it would
Because
just be phenomenal to go without. I mean, I don't think people have a clue how much interference we have on this end. So we definitely, if I haven't been told that once, I've been told 50 times by people that I interview all over the world, man, you are doing something right because the interference is so severe. So anyway, hang in there. We're still around. We assure you that we are not going anywhere. We're going to be on top of this shortly, and we want to send you all lots of love. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving Day, and we hope this does reach you before Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye, everyone. We love you. Take care.
Bye.
From galacticconnection.com.